All right, so I want to do a really brief video talking about how Citadel and market makers in general are able to suppress the price of a stock in general, especially when they're shorted, such as GameStop. Of course, not financial advice, giving my personal thoughts and opinions here, but let's get right into it. If you're the market maker, you are Citadel, who, by the way, brags on their website about executing 50% of all retail trades, which means out of every single trade you make in an entire year, Citadel is theoretically executing half of those, right? So if Citadel is executing half of the trades, what does that tell you? They see everything going on. Isn't it hilarious? I mean, it's not hilarious. It's disgusting, honestly, that someone in that position that could see the entire market structure, see the orders coming in, has the opportunity and is allowed to short stocks. Think about it. It's really this simple. If you're Citadel, you see FOMO coming in overnight, like last week. Tons of people set to buy GME at the open at market price. Let's say there are 1 million buy orders right at the open, right? Of course, that's a ridiculous number, but let's just, for the sake of the example, 1 million shares to buy at the open at market price. The previous day close was, let's say, 175 a share. All you have to do as Citadel is drop 1 million and one, or maybe 1.1 million, just so you got a safe cushion for that market open chaos, of ask orders. So all the bids coming in are just filled because they're market bids. You know, they're just take the ask. They just take the ask price. That's what a market order is. Whereas when you place a bid, that's a limit order. Hey, I'm only willing to pay this much. That's my limit. That's my bid. Whereas you're a seller, I'm asking this price. They're the sellers. They could ask whatever price they want. So they just stack the order book to be 1 million plus shares of a 175 ask. And guess what? Market opens that day. All the shares go through. They all buy at 175. And guess what? Buying price is supposed to make a stock go up, right? Because you eat up all those asks and you have to start buying higher and higher asking prices, right? And that's what makes the stock go up. But if you're Citadel and you see all the orders going in, you could just throw a bunch of baloney asks in there. Like the asking price. Every asking price could be 175. Everybody's order gets filled at 175. All the buying pressure is coming in. Fill, buy. But then the stock goes down. How? Because they just stack all those orders in there and they just make the price fill at 175. And then they push it down. They push it down with more and more ask orders. They can artificially hold the stock down because you're buying, right? And then they set the asking price. So they could just, whether they actually have the shares that they're setting the asking price with is irrelevant because they're executing 50% of trades, right? They're like, yeah, we have so many shares. We execute like half the trades. You know, it's all fine. We're going to find the shares. We'll just put the asks on the order books. I mean, I'm not saying this is exactly how it works. And there's a lot of other craziness going on behind the curtain that we don't know about and that I'm probably unaware of, and that talk about the ETFs, the options, you know, all kinds of things. But the point is, when you see the order books, if you're the one executing the orders, you see what's coming in. You know how to deflect the strength of the buying because you could just put a bunch of sell orders in to be filled and it balances out. And then the stock price never goes up until you have somebody like, for example, the insiders are probably buying on the IEX exchange, which is supposed to be direct to the stock. But how do we even know that? It's just a whole web of craziness. That's really what it is here. So that's what I think Citadel is doing, and that's how they prevent the price from going up. They just put a lot of ask orders in, a lot of asks, and then when you buy at market price, that's a bid. Bid, ask. That's what the market's made of. But then when we halted last week, very briefly, there was like a huge spread in the bid and ask. Because it's like almost like the market makers ran out of shares to manipulate for just a split second, so they had to halt the game. I mean, again, I'm trying to just speak generally here. This is a really tough topic to talk about because it's like, how do we really know what's going on behind the curtain? But generally, that's what we can kind of conclude because it's like, there's always just more shares magically. There's always just more shares available to buy. And who is selling? Who is honestly selling at this point? Like, really, I don't know. Like, I'm just dumbfounded. Like, I'm not selling. Everybody I talk to personally is not selling. Who is selling? Who? I'll tell you, AMC insiders, because AMC is trash and not the real MOASS. Have a great day.